let's get the show started. My name is Rudy Chow, Director of Department of Public Works with the Baltimore City, and I'm honored to join you today as we celebrate the 100th anniversary of first Montebello water filtration plant. We have so many people to acknowledge and who are participating today, and the full list is posted on the back of the handout many of you received as you entered. Our sponsor included the gathering, the Women Rec War and Associates, who is celebrating their 100th anniversary as well, and the Baltimore Public Works Museum, recognized under leadership Ms. Rachel Alias. Is Rachel here? She's here somewhere. Okay. We are also joined by many community organizations, elected officials. Some of them are up here with us. And the Maryland State Department of Planning, to whom we are grateful for providing this location with historical marker. This is a big deal to receive this designation. Let me also note that many agency representatives who are here today to tell you about the Department of Public Works, the Recreation and Parks staff with their free trees to plant and bikes to ride, our Baltimore County partners, and the many, many historical organizations here to tell you about the beginnings and the growth of Montebello. We even have some descendants of brilliant people who built this place, including Antonio Carzola, who was the owner of the contracting firm who built Montebello 1, and James W. Armstrong, who was the water filtration engineer hired in 1912 to design and build this plant. Marion Carroza and Martha Henderson and other descendants, please raise your hand. Are they here? Lake Montebello has been in existence since 1881. It was connected by a tunnel with the first Lock Raven Dam and served as a reliable source of drinking water for Baltimore. On September 13, 1915, city leaders dedicated the first Montebello water filtration plant, where more than 5,000 citizens gathered on a very hot day. So you're very fortunate. Today is wonderful weather here.
Took 100 years.
There was a long ceremony to recognize the significant step of purifying our drinking water. Baltimore's mayor at that time, James H. Preston, called it the most important event that has taken place in my time. He especially took note of the work of Ezra B. Whitman, who worked for this project, as well as many others, including building the Back River sewage treatment plant as the chief water engineers for the city. In that same year, Mr. Whitman went on to found his own company known today as Women Rec War and Associates. Their current senior vice president will talk more about the plan, and Mr. Whitman in a couple minutes. The ceremony of 100 years ago lasted for 2 hours. Today, we have other things to do and see. So I'm going to conclude by saying that I'm proud to be the current steward of this great water system with its 4,000 miles of main, 3 water reservoirs, and 3 water filtration plants. It is our job at the Department of Public Works to not only maintain this system, which serves 1.8 million customers in the Baltimore City and surrounding counties, but also to not only maintain it, but to improve as well. Water is our most vital resource. No water, no life. It has to be there when you need it. It has to be pure and clear. It has to be there for fighting fires, for manufacturing, for watering crops and gardens, and for the public health for all of us. I'm very fortunate to work for a mayor who understands this. She has been and is now the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, a national leader in calling for major infrastructure investment on a federal level. I'm pleased, therefore, to introduce the Honorable Mayor, my mayor, our mayor, Stephanie Rawlings-Blake.
Thank you so much, Rudy. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for coming out today to celebrate the centennial of the filtered water in Baltimore. I think this is one of the things that we take for granted in 2015, that there was a time where Baltimore did not have filtered water. It must have been an incredible time because, as Rudy said, the celebration was a 2-hour program. It was a big you-know-what deal, as our vice president would have said. The 100th anniversary of the opening of the Montebello water filtration plants reminds us of how far we have come and the importance of having excellent, high-quality drinking water. We know, as Rudy has already said, water equals life, and we want to continue to provide this great service. And I want to thank DPW and all of the DPW team, present and past. Can we give them a big hand? You know, I think the team at DPW, Director Chow and your deputy and all of the DPW workers, you are in so many ways the unsung heroes of our city. People expect high-quality drinking water when they turn on the spigot or when they turn on the tap. They don't ask the question how it gets there. The only time they think about DPW workers is when it doesn't come through the tap. When we think about the, flushing the you-know-what, nobody thinks about how. We just have a problem if it breaks, right? And DPW workers maintain our quality of life in such a magnificent way. No one, like I said, unsung heroes. No one recognizes the hard work that you do around the clock. This water filtration plant and the other treatment plants that we have throughout the region, they don't operate 9 to 5. They don't operate 8:30 to 4:30. You don't get weekends off. This is a 365-day, including holidays, 24 hours a day to make sure that we're able to get our quality drinking water. So for that, and for the 100 years that has happened, I want to say thank you for the generations at DPW. The DPW team works around the clock to ensure that 1.8 million people throughout the region have excellent drinking water, and we're going to continue to do that throughout, well into the future. DPW has accelerated the program to rehabilitate our 4,000 miles of underground water mains. Again, nobody cares about the water mains until one of them breaks. But we have old infrastructure, and Director Chow and his team understand that we need to be more aggressive in replacing that infrastructure, and I want to thank you for all of your hard work. In addition, DPW has made significant strides towards serving our customers better. For example, we have the Baltimeter program that will be up and running by the end of this month. Virtually all of Baltimore City's residents and customers, will have their water meters installed. These automatic meters promise to usher in more efficient service, more reliable service, and more accurate water billing. Yes, you will know exactly how much water you use, and you can do something with that information. You can test out different conservation techniques, and you will have better control over your water usage. Also, we're moving forward to safeguard our water supply with the design and construction of covered reservoirs at Druid Hill, Guilford, and Ashburton. When these projects are finished, we won't just have a safer water supply, we'll have enhanced community assets, just like this one here. And it bears remembering that in addition to providing clean and safe drinking water, DPW purifies wastewater and safely returns it to Chesapeake Bay. Again, being great stewards of our environment. Our sewer and wastewater treatment system is actually older than the water treatment plant that we're celebrating today. I guess a sewer treatment plant didn't warrant a celebration. And even as we speak, we're rebuilding the wastewater treatment plants and collection systems to be better for future generations. Today, please take some time out to visit the DPW exhibits highlighting the agency's activities, and I especially encourage you to take a tour of the historic Montebello Filtration Plant 1, which is up there. And I want to thank everyone for coming out today. I want to thank again all of our elected partners who are here, as well as our state partners from Planning and Maryland Historic Trust who helped make this happen. And before I leave, I just want to do one official thing and designate September 19th, 2015 as Montebello Water Filtration Plant Day in Baltimore in celebration of its 100th anniversary. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks.
Let's hear from Mary Pat.
What are you doing down there? Come on.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, so the next speaker is going to be Mr. Wilson, the president of Morgan State University. Morgan State University has been a long-time neighbor and partner of Montebello. I'd like to note that Morgan State University's Clarence M. Mitchell Jr. School of Engineering has earned an outstanding reputation for academic excellence, and many of the Morgan graduates are now DPW employees. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, Madam Mayor. Thank you very much, Rudy. It is indeed an honor and a privilege for me as president of Morgan to participate in the celebration of the centennial of filtered water in Baltimore. And so although Morgan State University was established in 1867 on the west side of Baltimore, we actually moved here on the east side of Baltimore, if you will, 98 years ago. And so 2 years from now, we too will be celebrating our great centennial in this great location here in Northeast Baltimore. And many of our faculty and staff at Morgan right now are city dwellers. They are homeowners in the neighborhoods that surround Lake Montebello and the university. And indeed, we have just, if you will, instituted a Live Near Your Work program to increase that number of faculty and staff at Morgan who are residing in neighborhoods near the campus, and also to add to the mayor's plan to add 10,000 new families to the Baltimore population. And so I'd like to say that at Morgan, we think of Lake Montebello as our waterfront, as our inner harbor, as that, if you will, which enables all of us in our neighborhoods and on our campus to come to this incredibly aesthetically appealing location that, of course, is the site of filtered water in Baltimore, but also, to recreate and to take advantage of all of the beauty that this particular site offers us. And it is also the place where 5 years ago we instituted at Morgan a 5K walk run. And this is our course. We hold that the second Saturday in May every single year and hope to see many of you participate in that. And so as I bring my remarks to a close, I certainly want to echo what Rudy said. We at Morgan have a lot to be proud of, but we certainly are extraordinarily proud of our School of Engineering, which produces more African-American electrical engineers than any other university in the nation. We also produce more African-American civil engineers and more African-American industrial engineers than any other school in the nation. And we are very, very pleased then to say to that talent, we want you to extend your hand in greater partnership with the city of Baltimore so that we can use it to continue to improve the infrastructure of our beloved city. And so we are very delighted with our growth, with our expansion at the university. I do hope that you will have an opportunity to go further down Hillen Road, and you'll see the magnificent $80 million new School of Business and Management that we just opened. And you'll see examples of other economic development activity that we also are putting forward. And so congratulations to the city of Baltimore for the vision it had 100 years ago in bringing filtered water to the city, and rest assured that we at Morgan will remain great partners in the city's progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Wilson. As I stated earlier, many of the Morgan graduates, so those civil engineers, are actually being hired by DPW as they are what I call the backbone of rebuilding DPW for the next 100 years. So next one, I'd like to invite Mr. Bill Wagner, who is the Senior Vice President with Women Reservoir and Associates. As you all know, the founder of Women Reservoir was instrumental in designing the Montebello 1 filtration. And let's congratulate Women Reservoir as the company celebrates its 100 years anniversary.
Thank you, Rudy. Well, I was just told not to read all 3 pages because it's getting hot like it was 100 years ago. But it is personally of great pleasure of mine. I've spent many decades working here in the city's water system, and to be asked to speak in front of you, I'm personally honored. But we are here to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Montebello Water Plant, referred to as one of the biggest and most important undertakings in the history of the city, as it meant pure drinking water for all of Baltimore. That was a statement Mayor Preston made in the opening ceremony. But he also further went on to talk about Whitman Record and Associates founder, Ezra B. Whitman. He stated, more than 4 years ago when I went into office, I appointed as water engineer Ezra B. Whitman, a Baltimore boy who had won his laurels in the new sewerage works over at Back River. It was an experimental appointment, but I want to say it was due to him more than any other one man that the credit for putting this great work through without a hitch is due. What is truly amazing about the Montebello filtration plant? When you stop and think about it, the founders, the foresight they had and where they located it is extremely instrumental to the longevity of the city's drinking water supply. It's still a solid backbone to supplying safe drinking water to not only the city, but the neighboring counties. The forethought in engineering, which I appreciate as an engineer myself, is that it was laid out to have everything flow by gravity, minimize the use of pumps. Water comes here from Loch Raven, comes to the plant, is treated, then goes downtown out to the distribution system. All flows by gravity, well thought of, still works for 100 years more. But what's also interesting, not only is the plant here 100 years old, across the street is a supplemental plant that was built 90 years ago. To combine, both of these plants produce up to 290 million gallons of water each day. Truly an amazing amount of water that can come out to serve not only the city, but Baltimore County, Howard, and Anne Arundel County as well. As part of the foresight and planning the longevity of supplying water to the city, back in the 1960s, Mr. Whitman led a commission that led to an alternative supply of water. That supply of water brought a 108-inch, 9-foot diameter pipe 38 miles from the Susquehanna River. It's an alignment that soon became I-95, but the pipeline was put there first, and it comes right here to the plant.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow. Yeah,
It's great.
really.
But Mr. Whitman was also sought out for his knowledge, not only locally here, but in very many regional locations. He went on to become onto a 28-man engineering board, study the lowering of the level in the Great Lakes by Chicago. He was also employed to study the flow of river water over Niagara Falls, and he testified in several Supreme Court cases having to do with the diversion of water in the Delaware and Connecticut rivers. Mr. Whitman went on to become chairman of the Public Service Commission of Maryland and served from 1921 to 1927. Later, he was chairman of the Maryland State's Road Commission, the director of Public Works, and a member of the Maryland State Planning Commission from 1939 to 1945. The powerful synergy between rich heritage and visionary thinking from WRA's founder remains the cornerstone of our culture and drives our success. His legacy helped transfer WRA from an early partnership of water and wastewater engineers to a multidisciplinary organization still located within here the city that serves the needs of private and public sectors. WRA's commitment to the city remains strong in its infrastructure improvements, but we've recently completed some major improvements across the street, protecting the safe drinking water of the covered reservoirs and working at projects at Druitt Lake. We've also have some major improvements to saving the Chesapeake Bay going on at the Back River sewage treatment plant. But our commitment to the neighborhood is also backed by our communities and our schools, such as our involvement with Living Classrooms, Cristo Rey, Patterson High School, and the NAF Academy. We're proud to share our centennial anniversary with the cities and bring filtered water. With that,
All right.
Thank you.
Very good.
excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. I think he cut out 2 pages.
I'll try to.
So next, we're going to be walking together to the gatehouse to unveil the Montebello historical marker. But before we do that, I just want to thank Ms. Wendy Peters, who is the Deputy Secretary for the Department of Planning with the state of Maryland, to thank her for helping us to secure this state historical marker. This marker assures Montebello place in the Maryland history.
The Maryland Historical Trust is a division of the Maryland Department of Planning that actually administers the Historic Marker Program. And we're very pleased to have worked with the City of Baltimore to have this beautiful marker we're going to unveil today. In 1933, the Maryland Roadside Historical Marker Program was launched and has proven to be an effective way to draw attention to the many events, people, and places that contribute to the richness of our state. You'll note, after the unveiling, the original design with a Great Seal of Maryland atop a silver shield. That was the original design, and it continues today. Over the program's history, over 800 historical markers have been placed throughout the state. Today, we recognize and celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Montebello Water Filtration Plant. This plant brought national acclaim to the Baltimore region when it was completed in 1915. It is significant for its innovative engineering, attractive Italian Renaissance-style architectural design, and the beginning of the region's modern water supply. With a capacity to treat more than 128 million gallons of water per day, it continues to serve the city well. Thank you for joining us for this special day for Baltimore.
Yeah.